We're waiting for people to join us in this chat conversation, although we've gone live. Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be connecting with all of you live here on Facebook. Thank you for taking time out on this tonight to join us with two very interesting people in this conversation. We celebrate World Mental Health Day today, and as you're aware, responsible netism has been working towards mental well being in cyberspace. So today's conversation is going to be really interesting, revolving around how we need to cope with strategies to cope with various kinds of stress in cyberspace. And we have two very famous and interesting guests with us, which I'm very delighted to have. Our conversation tonight is with a father and son duo. We will find out who balances cyberspace better. The father, that is Gen X, who belongs to my generation, and the son, Gen Z, who is way more smarter in this world of technology than the two of us put together. I take the privilege to introduce both of them to you today. Introducing the nationally and internationally acclaimed music composer, director, singer, Mr. Kaushal Inamdar,
Hello.
who has won accolades for his mesmerizing music, and his work spans across theater, television, films, events, concerts, albums, and much, much more. He's also been a very strong advocate of responsible netism, has always supported various initiatives of ours, and very happily chose to partner with us in this chat tonight. Thank you, Kaushal, for joining us.
My pleasure.
And we have the young and dynamic Anurag Inamdar, a student of law and politics, pursuing his second year, a reader, a blogger, a passionate writer who writes about history, politics, cultural affairs, philosophy, and science. I don't think I did any of that when I was his age. And you must read his work on anuraginamdar.substack.com. We'll put that on chat later and you can get some information on what he writes about. And Anurag plans to pursue his career in policy, in international policy making, in diplomacy, and it's very interesting and impressive because I don't think Kaushal and I ever thought of having such bright careers at our age. Welcome to the two of you to this conversation. And I think let's begin the fight between the two generations. तो अपना पल्ला थोड़ा भारी है Gen X का. I am sure that Anurag will combat the pressure and fight for Gen Z in his own capacity. So let me begin this question and conversation with you, Kaushal.
Yeah.
At your age, what age did you were you exposed to devices, and what was your usage then?
Okay. Compared to all the boys at my age, I was introduced to devices quite early. Okay. So I owned my first computer at the age of 16,
Really?
going on 17, that is. And it was a computer called Spectrum.
Okay.
Uh, it was a British made computer, and it had a 128 KB RAM. Okay, so there was no memory. Whatever was stored on audio cassettes, and the audio cassette was connected to the computer, and the data used to be transferred to the RAM of the computer, because there was no storage device in that computer. But that was my introduction to computers, and we could program in BASIC. Mostly it was for playing games, but we could program basic in basic language, and that too, the structure was extremely basic. So I remember having programmed a game called Tribe.
I've not even heard of it.
Yeah,
Tribe.
so tribe. So at in those days we used to get books which had the code of the entire game. So
Okay.
you input the code, you could tweak it a little and create your own game. So and they were
Oh,
text games. So for example, it was the precursor to SimCity.
oh. Sounds ancient to Anurag, you know. I don't think he ever
It
knew this
sounds
system
ancient to
ever.
me right now, but
Absolutely.
that was my beginning. So and then I was in college when the the PC arrived. So
Mm.
those days the PCs were run on DOS. There was no Windows. So Gen X, no, I'm Gen X, no, right, no.
Gen X, yeah.
Okay, so
Old
Gen
people.
X, Gen X will remember DBase, WordStar, Lotus, and monochrome screens, dot matrix printers.
Absolutely horrifying they were.
So dot, dot matrix printers used to make a noise that could compete with a kitchen mixer.
Absolutely. And forever printing. म्हणजे
Forever
अ,
printing.
4
Yes,
तास लागायचे एक प्रिंट करायला. Forever it used to go
correct,
on and on and on.
correct.
Absolutely.
So
My God, this is like a flashback.
I started using computers for music.
Oh,
That also I started very early.
okay.
ते ज्यांना 4 दिवस सासूचे आठवत असेल, विच स्टार्टेड इन
Oh,
नाईन्टीन
very
नाईन्टी
old
एट
serial.
1997 or 1998. Correct. So that was the first time I used a computer for music. Not the first time. त्याच्या आधी जरा वापरलं होतं मी. पण अराउंड दॅट. सो 4 दिवस सासूजेचं टायटल सॉन्ग मी पूर्ण घरी केलं होतं
My
माझ्या
God.
कम्प्युटरवर. आणि
Wow.
30-11 वर्ष चालली सिरीज आणि ती संपून आता 20 एक वर्ष झाली म्हणजे
Really ancient,
इतका.
huh?
हां हां तर आय हॅव बीन इंट्रोड्यूस टू डिव्हायसेस. तात्पर्य काय की आय हॅव बीन इंट्रोड्यूस टू डिव्हायसेस क्वाईट अर्ली. आय हॅव फाउंड माय सेल्फ व्हेरी कम्फर्टेबल विथ कम्प्युटर्स ऑल्सो क्वाईट अर्ली.
And what is it today? So what is the difference then and now for you?
See, so I have seen very interesting things in my life. Okay, so let me talk about music. When I started in music, the whole technology was analog based. Computers were coming in, but they had not yet infiltrated the music scene. So
Hmm.
we used to record on 2-inch analog tapes.
Hmm.
So there was a tape head which, so I used to sing on the mic. The microphone used to convert my audio signal to electrical signal, and this electrical signal wrote would be written on a magnetic tape by
Ah,
a head. And then when you played the magnetic tape again using the same head, the electrical signal used to be modified or converted to audio signal, and we could hear the same voice back. Okay, so when we were doing this, there was a rumor that now everything is going to change, because now what happened, because of the head recording, the when the head scratched against the magnetic tape, whenever you played the tape back, it used to make a noise of you'll remember that even when we played audio cassettes, there was a hiss,
ho, 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 ho.
हो ना.
I remember. Yes, yes.
हिस आता ही हिस काढायला पीपल यूज टू बीट देअर ब्रेन्स आउट. काय करायचं, डॉल्बी स्पेंट millions of dollars into a technology called Dolby noise reduction. So you will
Okay.
remember that the better cassette players had a button called Dolby NR,
Dolphins. Yeah, yeah.
and then when you press that, the would become. तो
Hmm.
थोडासा रिड्यूस व्हायचा पण जायचा नाही.
Hmm.
Everybody was after this, that how will that hiss go away. Okay,
Hmm.
So now what happened? The everybody started talking about this digital technology. आता डिजिटल येणार, डिजिटल येणार, आणि मग डिजिटल येणार म्हणजे हेच जाणार, बिकॉज नो
Hmm.
हेड, नो टेप, एव्हरीथिंग वुड बी रिटन इन बायनरी.
Hmm.
टेप्स होत्या, डिजिटल साठी सुद्धा सुरुवातीला टेप्स होत्या, बट सिग्नल डिजिटल म्हणजे 1010चा सिग्नल त्याच्यावर यायचा. आणि पण नंतर मग नॉन डिस्ट्रक्टिव्ह रेकॉर्डिंग सुरू झालं, म्हणजे हार्ड डिस्कवर. पण
Hmm.
नो बडी बिलीव्ड की हा हिस विल गो, बिकॉज इट वॉज लाईक परमनंट फॉर ever since recording started. For previous 100 years it was there, 80-90 years. तर हिस जाणार, नो बडी बिलीव्ड इट.
Hmm.
शेवटी डिजिटल टेक्नॉलॉजी आली आणि तो हिस गेला. ओके, इतका
Revolutionary.
रेव्होल्युशनरी, या. बट बाय दिस टाइम तो हिस गेल्यानंतर काय झालं, अनइंटेंडेड इफेक्ट झाले त्याचे. म्हणजे तबला जेव्हा तो ॲनालॉगवर धिंदा धिन धिंदा तिन ता तिन तिंदा धिन, असा तो धिन आवाज यायचा ना, तो तबल्याचा गेला. अँड द तबला स्टार्टेड साऊंडिंग लाईक ढुप ट ढुप ट डप ढुप ट ढुप. सो दॅट
Oh,
बास त्याची जी होती तबल्याची, देर वॉज अ रिंग अराउंड इट, दॅट जस्ट व्हॅनिश्ड. अँड नो बडी न्यू की अरे त्या तबल्याचा जो रिच साऊंड आहे तो कसा येणार. अँड देन एव्हरीबडी स्टार्टेड मिसिंग दॅट हिस.
hmm.
सगळे नॉस्टॅल्जिक झाले आता, अरे तो हिस काय टेपमध्ये ऐकू यायचा, आणि त्याच्यामुळे कसा रिच साऊंड व्हायचं. सो देन by this time technology had advanced so much that now people started recreating that his digitally.
Oh,
म्हणजे जो हिस घालवायला अख्खी डिजिटल
एवढे
टेक्नॉलॉजी
पैसे
आली,
घालवले.
त्याच डिजिटल टेक्नॉलॉजीच्या मनाने दे रिइंट्रोड्यूस द हिस. आणि हिस मेकिंग सॉफ्टवेअर्स आले, टेप एम्युलेशन सॉफ्टवेअर म्हणायचे त्याला. बट
Oh,
टेप एम्युलेशन सॉफ्टवेअर म्हणजे ऐकायला छान वाटतं, बट व्हॉट दे इसेन्शियली डिड वॉज दे इंट्रोड्यूस
his.
हिस बॅक. तर असा, तर आय हॅव सीन द बर्थ अँड द डेथ ऑफ द सी डी
The his, you mean?
इन माय लाईफटाईम. त्याच्या अगोदर 2 जनरेशन, 3-4 जनरेशनसाठी ॲनालॉग रेकॉर्डिंग होतं,
Hmm.
विच आय हॅव एक्सपिरियन्स्ड. आणि त्याच्यानंतर जी आलेली सी डी टेक्नॉलॉजी, त्याचा जन्म पण बघितला आणि मृत्यू पण बघितला. सो नाव
I
देर इज नो
know.
सी डी.
Absolutely.
हां, इन,
Man, just in front of your eyes, you see an entire revolution
या. So
to
maybe
the
Anurag's
technology.
generation has seen the CD, at least they have seen it.
Mhm.
But I think after Gen Z, what will come? Gen Z plus, they will treat CDs like we treated perhaps gramophone records, or
Absolutely.
that तरी आपण ग्रामोफोन रेकॉर्ड पाहिलेत, पण ते कर्णा आणि दॅट वी हॅव नॉट सीन आवर
We've
जनरेशन.
not seen. Yeah, that's actually coming to you, Anurag. When so your father being exposed to technology so early, I think it was a privilege for anybody to have been exposed back then. How was it for you?
Uh, so I was also exposed to the internet and to computers very early. Um, just by the virtue that we had a computer at our place, while many of my friends didn't have a computer at that time. So
What age were you then?
I think I was 6 when I started using Word,
Oh, really?
and I learned typing at the age of 7. I wasn't fast, obviously.
Am I hearing it right? Age 7 or standard 7? Age 7, you said.
Age 7. I think Baba will be able to correct me because I don't remember when I started using computers. It's that long back.
Oh, really?
This generation was born with it. And I remember
I know.
Anurag used to change ringtones on the mobile phone at before he was 1 year of age. Knowing
Baapre.
exactly की हे आपण चेंज करतोय, की
Ah,
हा रिंगटोन चेंज करतोय आपण,
So I don't remember
समजून
any
घे
of
पण
that.
म्हणजे.
समजून. हा.
हा.
And looking back, uh, I understand that why I was exposed to devices so early in age, but it is also peculiar because when I grew up, we didn't have a television at home at all, while many of my other friends did have. And I remember my other friends' parents giving examples of uh, how there is no television at Anurag's place. So look at him read.
Yeah. I have also given these examples to many, many schools, and I am also a party to this. Totally.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
So albeit having exposure early, uh, I didn't, I never used it excessively, even then. And I don't, because I did not grow up with it using excessively, I don't use it excessively even now.
See,
Um,
Shahana Mulga.
Oh,
No, the
rare,
fight ends here only.
rare
Now, there has to
specimen.
be a fight, but Kaushal, you were saying something?
A rare specimen of Shahana Mulga.
Absolutely. So we've
Uh,
given examples of Kaushal and Anurag to so many schools that we go to, talking about how television is impacting, and therefore not having it is inculcating so many other different skills into you. So we know that you were an avid reader very young at age, and I think it was inspirational for all of us back then.
so the
So what is
first,
your usage now? So even if you say it is restricted or it is not excessive, what is your usage like now?
so I think I'll give you an example from social media use and phone use. So I think many of my peers have an average phone viewing time of 7+ hours in a day,
Okay.
while my average viewing is just 2 hours or even less than that, maybe.
okay. So
Really?
you wanted a fight, right? So
Yeah,
the fight will be actually reverse in order. My social media use is more than Anurag's.
I can imagine. Absolutely.
So sometimes he tells me to put the phone down. Reverse, I.
Oh, tables have turned.
Tables have turned.
And so 2 hours, what is it that you engage in the most?
Uh, so not so much social media because most of the times I'm a passive social media user. I only read news or I read something which I'm interested in, or I bookmark it for later use. But much of my time goes in reading books on the phone. So I have e-readers downloaded, or I'm just looking up information on Wikipedia, or yeah, that's all. Uh,
So let me shift the topic a little to one. You have been a celebrity child, plus you have been not exposed to TV, plus you've been a reader. So did that call for any kind of trolling while you were in school or college? And how did you cope with it?
Not at all. There was no trolling whatsoever. Um, because I think everyone encouraged me to read from a young age.
Okay.
I never even felt that I needed a television to engage my senses or stimulate me in any manner. We
So there
have
was, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
we have a huge library at home.
Yeah.
There are millions of books now which I can find online. Even then, which I could find online. Uh, we have physical books at home, so I just kept reading.
But then you, even if you stood out from the entire class, there was nobody who was shaming you or troubling
Not at
you
all.
because
Not
you
at
are
all.
different. Lucky you, really. But I don't think that's the case with Kaushal. I'm sure he's been trolled enough on various platforms that he has been on for being so vocal. What are your thoughts, Kaushal?
Yes, I have been trolled, and so al- although I have learned to ignore.
Have some more. Have some
So
more.
sorry. Yeah, so I have learned to ignore trolls. Uh, after after a great battle with myself, it's not easy to ignore trolls,
Absolutely.
and the whole their whole purpose in life is to actually provoke you to saying some into saying
Mm.
something. So they want you to say something, and
Mm.
in a way they are people who are actually seeking attention. So it it must be a difficult life for them, you know, that if you have to seek attention, you have to come online and then provoke somebody into giving you attention. So earlier it used to be very difficult for me, that I used to be provoked.
So what happened? How did it affect you?
So you know, 100 people pay you compliment and then
Hmm.
you take it very gracefully, but you forget it. Compliments don't stay with you, but one word of criticism, and I'm not talking about constructive criticism. Constructive
Yeah.
criticism uh, is given to you by people who actually want to contribute to your life.
Yes.
So there is constructive criticism, and there is criticism which is actually not criticism. It's sort of,
Just to pull you down.
yes, it's to pull you down. It's to say mean, hurtful things so that
Hmm.
you are hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, so earlier that used to be, it stayed in my mind. If somebody passed an uncharitable remark, it kept on revolving in my mind for the whole day.
Hmm.
And lot of my I am blessed with good friends, so a lot of friends told me that, you know, don't indulge, don't, and I listen to them. So that, you know, you don't have to always respond
Hmm.
to, especially, or wait. आता लहानपणी आपल्याला सांगायचं ना, राग आला तर उलटे 10 मोज.
Moza. Huh.
हा. आणि उलटे मोजायचे. आमच्यासारख्या गणितात तज्ज्ञ असलेल्या मुलांचा सरळ मोजण्याचा प्रॉब्लेम होता. उलट मोजायचं म्हणजे त्याला 10 नंतर 9 8 त्याच्यातच वेळ जायचा.
हो,
अँड
खूप
देन
वेळ
युज्ड टू बी,
जायचा.
हां, मग आपण शांत व्हायचो. सो इट रिअली sort of, you know, that's what I started practicing. So
Hmm.
most of my trolls now I don't answer. If I think that there is criticism which is hurtful, but also it might affect my reputation.
Hmm.
Current internet is a thing that does not, you know, things on it never die.
Yeah.
They always come back. But कोणीतरी एक काहीतरी बोललेलं आहे, तर इट माइट कम टू, तर तेव्हा काय रिस्पॉन्स द्यायचा. सो देर आर सम थिंग्स दॅट आय, मी स्वतःला एक गाईडलाईन घालून दिली आहे.
Hmm.
फॉर एक्झाम्पल, आय नेव्हर स्वेअर.
Hmm.
Not only on internet, I never swear otherwise also.
Hmm.
So I see to it that my swearing is minimal.
Hmm.
It rarely happens. It's a rare phenomenon.
Hmm.
सो ते फक्त इंटरनेटवर नाही, एरवी सुद्धा मी स्वतःला ती सवय घालून घेतली आहे की
Hmm.
चिडलो तरी शिवी नाही द्यायची.
Hmm.
सो डोंट स्वेअर, डोंट कर्स बॅक.
Hmm.
You know, if somebody wishes ill for you, never swear back or never wish ill upon them again. Criticize, put the truth, be straightforward, but do not dehumanize the other person nor lose your own dignity.
Wow. So difficult this must have
So
been.
it's, yes, it's difficult. It's like walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
की काय प्रमाणात
And
उत्तर द्यायचं आणि काय प्रमाणात नाही द्यायचं, आणि कुठल्या, अँड व्हेअर टू स्टॉप.
absolutely.
बिकॉज वन्स यू आन्सर, सी, argument has never ever solved anything in this world. So the purpose of argument is never to convince the other person. The purpose of argument is to put the truth out there,
Hmm.
or whatever you perceive as the truth. कारण यू कॅन्ट हॅव
Yeah.
मोनोपोली ओव्हर द ट्रूथ. पण तुम्हाला जे वाटतं, तर तुमचं फिलिंग यू पुट इट आउट देअर. बट परत ती पीपल कीप आर्ग्युइंग, नेव्हर गो, कारण ते देन दॅट गोज डाऊन अँड ॲबिस.
Absolutely.
त्यामुळे be sure that you are never going to convince the other person because of an argument. It never happens. In fact, most of the arguments are, they have already made up their minds, and your argument actually strengthens their beliefs.
Yeah.
So
This
leave
is
it at that.
wisdom.
Huh,
Absolutely.
leave it at that.
Absolutely. It is so natural for us to swear nowadays. If you see children talking,
Yeah.
एका वाक्यातले 10 शब्द असेल तर 9 शिव्या असतात. And it
Oh,
is so considered so cool and casual.
yeah.
But having this composure and being so composed about not wanting to and willing to swear
Yeah.
is such a big thing. I think it's phenomenal. It's a big learning. Anurag, you must have seen Kaushal go through these highs and lows, especially because of his posts on social media. How did it affect you? And did it affect you in the first place?
uh, it didn't affect me much because it never affected Baba.
Mm.
Uh, he knows how to handle, and I know that he knows how to handle. So it doesn't really affect us at home. Whatever social media is inconsequential.
I agree.
It doesn't say anything about what a person does in his private life or what does he do amongst his friends or colleagues or anything.
Hmm.
It's just a platform to vent out anger. There are
More
many
of anger.
constructive
Yeah,
things
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
on social media, but much of it is just anger, and you keep your social media life on social media and you don't bring it home. That's
Amazing lessons. Two big lessons for me right now are, composure. I mean, not swearing is something, not that I swear at all, but I think not retaliating to such kind of trolls and not letting that affect. Amazing lessons. I think people viewing must take this back because these are important. And standing against the crowd. It's very easy to swear back. It is very easy to comment on something which is hateful, which is hurtful, which is defamatory and intentionally done to cause harm. But there is when you where your dignity lies and when you don't retaliate in the same manner, you respect what is shared. I think it's great amount of wisdom coming in from both of you. Wonderful. Um, Kaushal, you said that you put yourself in this practice of not swearing back. How do you think it affects other people? Because you belong to an industry which is born and brought up on a lot of criticism because you're in the public domain.
Right.
And how do you want them to respond to it? Just a piece of advice for them.
For whom?
For your celebrity, partners or
Yeah, yeah.
people
So,
that co-workers.
most of them, I think, handle social media very well. Lot of people are trolled even more than I am. I think I have more friends from different sides of the political spectrum, different sides of the cultural spectrum as well.
Hmm.
I have made more friends than I have trolls.
Hmm.
So, but there are other celebrities who are trolled, and I think for them the best advice is actually not to respond at all.
Absolutely.
Because कसं आहे ना, मी संगीतकार आहे, मी ह्याच्यावर दिसत पण नाही स्क्रीनवर, त्यामुळे से आय एम सॉर्ट ऑफ अ बिनाइन सेलिब्रिटी
Hmm.
की नो बडी रिअली बॉदर्स अबाउट म्युझिक कंपोजर्स ॲक्च्युली. दे आर मोर इनॅमर्ड बाय द स्टार्स, आणि मग ती काय म्हणाली आणि तो काय म्हणाला आणि मी त्याला कसं बोललो.
Yeah.
इट्स अन इगो ट्रिप. मी कसं बोललो, मी शाहरुख खानला काय बोललो, अरे पण शाहरुख खान ऐकतोय का तुझं. आणि देन इफ समबडी एलिसिट्स दॅट रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम शाहरुख खान इज ॲक्च्युली इट मेक्स दॅट ट्रोल्स लाईफ की बघा मी
Yeah.
बोललो आणि शाहरुख असं. सो ॲक्च्युली and nothing to do with Shahrukh Khan also. It's just anybody, like, it might be a
Absolutely.
politician, it might be a journalist, it might be a, so, and criticism is okay.
Hmm.
There are a lot of uh, people who criticize me without being offensive actually.
Hmm.
or without swearing or without, so that sometimes they are a little sarcastic, sometimes that's okay. You
It
can
comes in
know
with
where,
the,
this is playful,
yeah,
even if somebody criticizes, it's criticism is quite okay actually. And in my profession, I think people learn to take criticism before they even start taking compliments,
mm,
because most of my people, the people in our profession, they have seen more failures than they have seen success.
no,
They have endured taunts, they have endured failures, they have endured their own families saying की अरे काय करणार हा, याच्यात जाणार पण होणार का. कारण
yeah,
I remember when I was a teenager, when I had just chosen this profession, there were a lot of people who used to tell my parents की असं काय तुमची माझ्या वडिलांना म्हणायचे, तुमची इतकी प्रॅक्टिस आहे, हा का नाही करत, हा कुठल्या ह्याच्यात चाललेला आहे, याला कशाला, हाऊ कॅन यू अलाव. So
yeah,
we have already endured this in the real life, so social media
mm,
is not,
doesn't really affect.
doesn't really matter.
Anurag, you are young with a lot of peers who hyperly are active on social media. And have you come across people that you're closely connected with facing any kind of online distress? And have you been able to offer any help?
Uh, so I think online distress in my generation, it takes different forms, and where you can offer help from a third place,
Hmm.
uh, this situation arises rarely.
Okay.
But online distresses such as social media hacking,
Okay.
there are so many phishing messages that go around Instagram,
Hmm.
and people even in my generation, without thinking, click on a random link, which through which they end up in trouble.
Hmm.
So the most I can do is that I can report that this is a fake account and that it has been hacked,
Yeah.
and that is the most I can do.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't even think I'm in a position to talk to anyone when they are suffering from any social distress.
Okay.
At least I haven't done it, and I haven't even encountered friends who have needed that kind of help.
Okay. But do you think the other peer group of yours, not the peer group of yours that you are in, use social media way more than you do, and how does it affect them? And how different are you from them?
Um, so I've seen much of my peer group uses social media in a personal fashion, that they'll post pictures from their trips, from their
Mm.
birthdays, from their dinners, from their lunches,
Mm.
which I don't do. I treat social media as a strictly social platform. If I want to tell somebody about my lunch, then I will phone them and I'll talk to them. But I will never post a picture on a social media site. I don't want to get into the trouble of having my personal information out on the internet so freely. But this is rampant in any generation, even in Generation X and even in Generation Z.
Mm.
They treat social media platforms as if it's their personal drawing room,
Absolutely.
which is very
Absolutely.
dangerous, because
Mm.
that personal information can be used in any way possible. Even if you're posting about your private lunches with private
Mm.
friends, that information, I don't know how, but it can be used in any manner possible.
Yeah, of course, of course. But this decision was forced onto you to not share your private life in public, or it was a decision you took on your own, and why?
It was a decision I took I took on my own. My
And
parents
why?
have never regulated anything that I do on social media, because in fact I started using social media in 2020 when I knew that I could handle it properly.
My God.
So
हे आपल्याला
And
ना इथे असं
आणखीन
बोर्डिंग
एक
बिल्डिंग
सांगतो.
लावायला लागेल मला वाटतं
I,
ह्याच्यावर.
I think you don't need to teach your children anything. It's actually children learn more by example.
Yeah.
And I think I should credit my wife here more, because she's extremely particular about, you know, about how she lives her life without devices. So, for example, not having television at home was her decision.
mm,
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that was so that's why I don't think we had to tell Anurag anything, that
Mm.
don't
yeah,
do this or do this, or you know, why are you doing this. It was never spoken at our home. He saw that my parents are not posting about their lunches online. Even I am not going to post it. Doesn't matter anyway.
and I
But
think the
I think
decision
it
of
is,
not having a television at home was the best one taken,
I so agree with you. I so agree with you
because then
because,
you actually understand the value of the technology that you're using.
and more than that, the influence, I think, what is the television what influences it is creating on children? Jay,
Mhm.
I remember very early years where a friend's kid was watching a serial which is meant for grandparents to watch, and she started talking like one, and then realized that, no, no, she's just 3 year old. She can't behave like a 75-year-old. And where is the childhood going? So, what is the influence and what is the consumption of content that you're viewing? And
Right.
children are mindlessly engaging because parents have no role to play there.
Not
And
only
I think this,
children, adults are also mindlessly engaging.
absolutely, I agree. I agree
So
totally with
there is a definition of democracy by Lincoln, which we all know, that democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. But there is another uh, definition by George Bernard Shaw, and he says that democracy is a device which ensures that we shall be governed no better than we deserve. Entertainment is
yes,
just like that. You know, you allow free entertainment in your house. And what was that quote in the that documentary, that if you are if you are not the uh,
If something is for free, then you are the product.
if something is for free, then you are the product.
yeah,
For television, that has happened, that we have been the product.
been their products. Yeah,
And when you allow free entertainment, so just think about the quality that is going to hit.
absolutely, absolutely.
So we always believe that, let's, you know, because entertainment is not just entertainment. It
Hmm.
actually, it's a sort of your your sort of user interface of culture.
Yeah,
Any kind of entertainment is your user interface to culture. So now
it's very
what
alarming to see what they're watching today. If this is what the
exactly
interface of culture is,
culture is. Now, if you think of it that way, then, and what happens is that are if you allow the wrong culture in, or if you allow, let's not say wrong or right, let's say if you allow harmful culture in, then the problem is that the consequences are seen quite late.
yeah,
Immediately the consequences won't be seen,
hmm,
quite late. So
hmm,
even in that position, let's, you have to be the one who chooses what to see, what to hear, what to consume,
absolutely.
which
And there
music to
is,
hear, what stories to see, and what to consume. That's
but this is all revolving around very conscious parenting, Kaushal. I think it is by choice that you decide to consciously raise your child in a particular manner by setting examples of yourself to them. There's a question that has come up from the audience की आपण सगळे लाथा खाऊन मार खाऊन मोठे झालोय. आजकालचे disciplining patterns have changed altogether. But then what is disciplining today, and especially when it comes to screen time? Because parents are terribly facing challenges when it comes to monitoring or even regulating screen time for children. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so what I think is that there are many worthy alternatives to the screen. So first of all, that let's get this thing that uh, you know तो मागतोय ना तर मग दिलं पाहिजे.
Mhm.
हे कुठलंच असं झालं तो इफ अ ड्रंकर्ड इज asking for alcohol, will you give it to him?
Mhm.
It's the same thing. You
Yeah,
it's not a virtue that
absolutely.
somebody asks for it and then you give it. It's not, that's not a virtue.
Yeah,
Sometimes not to give it is a virtue.
yeah.
तर तुम्हाला
और वो
त्या
सुनता ही नहीं है, मेरी बच्चा मेरा
हां,
सुनता ही नहीं
तर
है.
त्यावेळी तुम्हाला असं वाटेल की दिस इज बिंग हार्श, बट ॲट you have to invest in that later moment when actually this will, so provide alternatives. There are, go out, uh, go to concerts, go to the theater. नाटकं बघत नाहीत लोक, गाण्याचे कार्यक्रम ऐकत नाहीत, पेंटिंगचे एक्झिबिशन्स नाही बघत लोक. आणि आय रिमेंबर दॅट इवन नाव Anurag and I make it a point to go for an impromptu visit to the say
Art gallery or
art galleries, Jahangir Art Gallery or something like that.
Either we watch plays, Ai Baba and I, or we go for music concerts. We go to the Jahangir Art Gallery for art exhibitions.
I so agree about giving alternatives. तू मोबाइल मत ले, तू गेम मत खेल, पर तू करे क्या फिर?
हाँ हाँ,
Because as a parent, you're not giving an alternative at all.
करेक्ट करेक्ट.
And worst is you're not setting that example yourself.
राईट,
म्हणजे
हां,
पालक
दॅट
म्हणून
इज
जर
द
तुम्ही
होल
तसे
थिंग
असाल,
की
या
तुम्ही मोबाईलवर आहात आणि मग तुम्ही सांगताय तर तू दुसरं काहीतरी कर, तर दॅट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हॅपन. सो इफ मे बी द आन्सर लाईज इन हॅव्हिंग फॅमिली ॲक्टिव्हिटीज टुगेदर.
या
सो यू रीड आउट. आम्ही असं
या
किती वाचन करतो आम्ही. तर मध्ये आम्ही भैरप्पांचं पर्व वाचत होतो. तर हे आम्ही असं तिघं मिळून बसतो आणि ते वाचतो कोणीतरी, किंवा अनुराग रीड्स आउट समथिंग दॅट ही हॅज रेड व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, अँड वी टॉक अ लॉट, वी डिस्कस अ लॉट. सो there is a lot of alternative things that you could do with your
आणि
time.
त्याच्यात थोडे कष्ट घ्यायला लागतात ना. You have to
uh,
put in an effort to do that. And we want a very kashta-free life,
Correct.
especially today's parents, because they don't want to engage in conversations. In fact,
Absolutely.
in our work, we've had very young children who don't talk at all. Even older, I mean, young youth, they don't
Right.
want to talk. They would prefer to chat. They don't want to socialize because they've, grown up in an environment where physical socialization is completely banned. They would rather have, been there on various group chats and conversing with people. So I think these are very early, I would call it hygiene, in terms of setting practices in the home. And like you very rightly said, communication, which is absolutely missing from families.
Yes.
बोलतच नाहीत एकामेकांची लोक. And how are you expecting suddenly a 17-year-old talk to you when you've not spoken to that child for 16 years of his life or her life?
Correct.
Anurag, what are your thoughts on that?
So I agree. It's a lot of effort if you're not used to it. But
Yeah.
I think if you enjoy talking, talk. If you enjoy reading out, read. If you enjoy singing together, sing. If you enjoy listening music together, listen to music. The whole problem is getting isolated. Even if you
Absolutely.
are on a technological platform, even if you're watching, uh, so Ai Baba and I also watch a lot of podcasts. Uh, we watch a lot of TV shows. We love cinema, but we are doing it together and we discuss it while we are watching it. So it's not like being on that platform is bad, but if you are demented by it, then then that's a problem. Uh, I remember Roald Dahl's poem on television. We had it in school, and it just flashed back. It says that children sit and sit and sit uh, until they're drunk, and something along those lines, that they become demented. They don't eat their food. They only stare and stare and sit and sit.
Oh, please share this with me. I think I'm going to use it in one of my sessions. And it is so true. And that is exactly what is happening. Now, sit and sit and sit and stare because there is nobody talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the art of conversation that parents have to start very, very early. And it only can come from the parents. It can't come from anywhere outside of the family within the ones that you live in. I also feel that Anurag, a lot of young people are exposed to severe forms of threat. Now, you know the work that we've been doing in terms of protecting young
Mm-hmm.
people and youth on from cyber violence. And what is your advice to people who are not just vulnerable in cyberspace, but who are also committing various kinds of crimes just to be famous? Because nowadays, if you don't have followers, you don't fit the bill.
Right.
इंस्टाग्राम पर अगर तेरे फॉलोअर्स 100 के नीचे है तो you don't have respect, and for that then you're willing to risk your life to be able to get famous out there, or in real life तुमको कुत्ता भी नहीं पूछ रहा है, very sad, lonely, depressed, but you're shining in the virtual world altogether. So this is such a disparity in
Mm-hmm.
terms of virtual and real. What is your piece of advice to them?
I think start doing something in real life.
As
Uh,
simple as that, actually.
right. You can't do anything more. What are you fighting for on the virtual space? For more followers? Uh, I don't know. Tomorrow they'll all be gone. What will you
Yeah,
have then? Uh,
yeah.
I think a social psychologist in the NYU called Jonathan Haidt, he did a study
Hmm.
about rising suicide rates
Yeah,
due to social media use.
yeah.
And those suicide rates have an exponential growth in the teenage population of now,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because every teenager is going for that social credit
Hmm.
that you get from social media. So everyone is fighting for that one like on Facebook, or one like on Instagram, or one retweet on Twitter.
Yeah.
But actually, those who are retweeting, many of them are retweeting nonsensically. They like it then, but they are not going to come back. Many of them. I'm not saying all of them.
Hmm. So maybe mindless engagement is what you're hinting towards.
Right.
And also consumption of the kind of mindless content. आपण रील बघायला सुरुवात केली की maybe I've been a prey to it many a times, where once you start scrolling, you just can't
You
end
can't
that
stop.
scrolling. Yeah, and it is mindless engagement. You just want to
Right.
slap yourself for after a while saying, "मी काय बघत होते एवढा वेळ,"
Correct.
and that is so wasted, म्हणजे absolutely going down the drain. Sir, I so agree. I'm going to take this sentence of yours, do something in real life, and hit it upon every young person I come across after this conversation. Kaushal, what is your advice to parents, after which we'll move on to a rapid fire, a very quick rapid fire after this? But what is your advice to parents about uh, digital well-being? We are all talking about mental well-being in cyberspace.
Yeah.
Digital well-being is extremely important from very young ages. So young parents and parents struggling to keep their children safe, what is
Right.
your advice to them?
So it it's a very clear cut thought I have about technology in general. Technology is meant to help you, and so you are supposed to ride technology, not let technology ride you. The moment that happens, that technologies are aiding you. So see, this is here to stay, and I think all tools, all machines, all technology, what is the purpose of it? It's to make life easier. Okay, why why should your life be made easier? So that you can upgrade your challenges, and that is what we lose sight of. आयुष्य सोपं झालं, पण त्याच्यानंतर करायचं काय? तर करायचं
हम्म.
असं की तुमचे चॅलेंजेस अपग्रेड करायचे.
हे विसरतात सगळे.
हे विसरतात. अँड यू यू हॅव मोर फ्री टाइम टू बी मोर क्रिएटिव्ह नाव.
Absolutely.
सो spend that time, use social media, use digital technology, but make your life, real life, better. And that is why it's extremely necessary that don't have a phobia or have uh, an addiction.
Hmm.
या दोन्ही
All extremes. Hmm.
बोथ एक्स्ट्रीम्स समतोल साधला पाहिजे. म्हणजे अनुरागचं अगदी मला योग्य वाटतं की सोशल मीडिया आहे, पर्सनल मीडिया नाही आहे.
Oh, very
हो.
nice. Bapre, I've got so much lessons to learn today.
सो सो यूज इट ॲज अ सोशल मीडिया. तुम्हाला काय काय एरवी करता येत नव्हतं ते तुम्ही करा. सी, इट्स सोशल मीडिया हॅज डन सम अमेझिंग थिंग्स. It has democratized content. Okay, so talented people who did not get into, who could not get into the bureaucracy of things, can now hold a phone in front of their eyes, record, and have their own YouTube channel. What can be more amazing than this?
Absolutely.
Podcasts, I think, have, in a way, it's, I think podcasting is the next big revolution after the Gutenberg revolution. अँड इन अ वे भारतीय लोकांच्या पथ्यावर पडलेलं आहे, कारण इट्स रिटर्न टू आर ओरल ट्रेडिशन.
Yes, yes.
हो ना. सो देर आर सो मेनी गुड थिंग्स अबाउट इट. सो इफ यू सी द गुड थिंग्स अबाउट इट विदाउट बीइंग डिपेंडंट ऑन देम, विदाउट बीइंग ॲडिक्टेड, आणि देन इट्स अ ब्युटिफुल वर्ल्ड आउट देअर.
Yeah.
हां. सो म्हणजे माझं म्हणणं इतकंच आहे की त्याचा बाऊ करता कामा नये कशाचाच. फार तुम्ही काय सुंदर आहे ना ही टेक्नॉलॉजी, या ग्लॅमरमध्येही राहण्याचे दिवस आता संपलेले आहेत. वी हॅव सीन टेक्नॉलॉजी चेंज फास्टर दॅन द फॅशन्स इन पॅरिस फॉर द लास्ट 10 years नाव. सो
True.
आता त्या ग्लॅमरमध्ये की आता काय नवीन आलं, आता AI नवीन आलं, तर हे नवीन नवीन गोष्टी येतच राहणार.
Yeah.
ॲडॅप्ट अँड सी टू इट दॅट you become more evolved.
Absolutely. Great learnings. Anurag, any last comments on this? And then I move to the rapid fire.
Nothing much. That's all.
But I think a lot of learnings. I love that quote of, social media, personal media nahi hai.
Right.
I'm going to use so much of this in my talks and in my sessions. And of course, due credit to both of you for it. But very, very meaningful tips coming in from somebody as young as you, Anurag. And when you see the entire world on the other side of the fence, I'm so delighted to see you so composed at your age. I'm a little sad that you don't use social media so often, but I'm also happy that you've evolved and you find meaning to what you do. And due credit to Suchitra and Kaushal, you both for bringing this together as a team. And the bonding between the three of you, I just felt when you spend time reading, sharing your thoughts and books and podcasts is so amazing as a culture where you've really harnessed communication and build that bond as a family. And hats off to you for that. So moving on to my next rapid round, I'll start with Anurag first. Um, so you say what comes to your mind first when you hear what I say. Your favorite fan page.
Favorite fan page? I don't think I follow any fan page.
So sad. At least father's, babansa tari kar. You can say it to people. I know. Really? Okay. Your most preferred social media platform?
Me,
Yeah.
Twitter.
Okay. Uh, any influencer that has caught your attention?
Any influencer that has caught my attention? Uh, Perhaps Ben Shapiro.
What is
He's a
it about?
political commentator, but
And why is that?
uh, his tweets are exciting.
Okay.
I don't agree with all of it, but nevertheless, they are always exciting and entertaining to read and think
Okay.
about.
Your most disliked platform?
My most disliked platform, Snapchat.
हे कौशल तू म्हटलं पाहिजेस हा तू म्हणतोय द वॉर
मला स्नॅपचॅट
ended
माहितीच
before it
नाहीये.
started. I agree. I agree. So that was pretty quick and very evolved, Anurag. Thanks for that. Coming to you, Kaushal.
Yeah,
The only platform you rely on from the social media platforms.
Twitter.
Right. A difficult platform for you to navigate on.
Insta, I think. I don't think in much of pictures. So I don't think
Okay.
in terms of much of pictures. So very
Okay.
difficult for me.
And so Instagram. Who was your favorite influencer?
Uh, there are many, but if I have to take one person, I will say that it's in it is Naval Ravikant, one of the influencers. So I think it is fantastic. And on the Indian side, there are many people like I think
You can name
he is
three.
not much on Twitter, but is there all over YouTube. Is J Sai Deepak or Anand Rangnathan? They are giving very different content right now. So
Okay.
yeah, so they have sort of broken through the conservative or what was the accepted narrative, and
Okay.
their books also are very enlightening. But Naval Ravikant, yes, I'll say that he gave me a lot of new insights, and it's always for me. I follow a lot of young influencers also, so I follow a lot of YouTube channels run by these youngsters, and I feel
They're
fantastic.
fantastic.
They're fantastic.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think I'll
That's that.
second Baba on Naval Ravikant.
Okay.
It's I think it's a fantastic. He's fantastic. If not Ben Shapiro, then Naval Ravikant.
Okay. But I think it is important to give people options to follow content which is meaningful and which is worth learning from instead of just mindless engagement. So thank you for these referrals also. We'll certainly have a look at. I haven't seen both, so I think I should
Yeah,
definitely take a look at both. And I totally agree that young people are tremendous content creators. म्हणजे जिथे अगदी घाणेरडा कॉन्टेंट पण क्रिएट होतोय तिकडेच खूप चांगला कॉन्टेंट क्रिएट होतोय आणि यंग पीपल आर out there generating some amazing content which needs to be captivated on.
absolutely. And they are discussing very basic fundamental things. They are discussing very important things,
Yeah,
and in ex- extremely balanced manner. So
absolutely.
it's in a mature way. So it's lot of things to learn from youngsters.
Yeah, answer. I so agree. We wrap this today's chat conversation with the two of you. I
Yeah.
think I'm taking back so many learnings with me from you. I missed having the fight, but I just thought it was good that we didn't fight over the issue. But I believe that Anurag is a part of the Gen Z, which is closer to the Gen X.
You know,
And
like in our uh, everyday life, even fighting we prefer offline.
yeah, I agree. त्याच्यातच मजा आहे ना,
Not
पण
on.
offline fight. There is a different joy in it altogether. Because online you can just send an emoticon and the matter is over. You know, you don't have to engage much. But Kaushal, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today, and
Thank you.
Anurag to you also.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
We will come
It was
back to
great.
you for more learnings and more insights on how one should behave online. And I think you set the tone for youngsters to follow. So thank
Well,
you for your
I
time, and
I
I hope
think
people have enjoyed.
yeah, I'll just
Please,
make a sort of conclude concluding remark that
yes.
responsible netism is doing a fantastic job and a much needed job. So congratulations to you and your entire team. They're filling space which needs to be filled right now by sensible people, which you all are, and I'm so happy that I am connected with movements such as responsible netism. So thank
Wow.
you.
So this was for everybody who's viewing. This was not tipped at all. This is very general and very naturally, genuinely coming from Kaushal. That's how he is, and we of course value him for what he is and what he contributes to us as an organization. Thank you once again, all of you, for joining in, and to both of you, we'll stay connected.
Thank you.
Thank you.